Think you can recognize the most captivating Golden Girls who ruled the 70s? This revolutionary decade of cinema produced some of the most unforgettable beauties and talented stars ever to grace the silver screen. You'll see a recent photo of a timeless 70s icon. Get 5 seconds to guess who it is, then we'll reveal them in their prime. Keep track of your score and let us know how you did in the comments. Ready? Let's get started. Here's the girl who became a nightmare legend, Linda Blair, whose possession scenes in The Exorcist were so realistic that Warner Brothers hired bodyguards to protect her from religious fanatics sending death threats. She performed her own head-spinning stunts using a mechanical rig that left her with permanent back problems. And Mercedes McCambridge's demonic voice was layered over hers so seamlessly that audiences thought Linda was truly possessed. In 2025, she's 66. You're witnessing the fearless beauty Margot Kidder, whose Lois Lane was so convincing that Christopher Reeve admitted falling in love with her during their first screen test. Her bipolar disorder made headlines when she was found confused in someone's backyard, but she used that publicity to become one of Hollywood's first mental health advocates, speaking at universities nationwide about breaking stigma. She passed away in 2018. That haunting intensity is Karen Black, the chameleonic actress whose lazy eye was considered a flaw until directors realized it made her characters unforgettably mysterious. She appeared in more films than any actress of the 70s, often playing unhinged characters so convincingly that co-stars admitted being genuinely frightened during scenes with her. She passed away in 2013 at the age 74. Behold the Swedish-American sensation Margaret, whose gyrating performance in Viva Las Vegas was so provocative that censors demanded 18 cuts before allowing theatrical release. She performed her own motorcycle stunts and dancing sequences well into her 40s, earning the nickname the female Elvis from industry insiders who said she moved like Presley's twin sister. In 2025, she's 84. That sophisticated mystique belongs to Katherine Deneuve, the ice-blonde goddess who became the face of Marianne, France's national symbol, appearing on stamps and currency. She refused to learn English for Hollywood roles, insisting directors work around her French dialogue, and Louis Vuitton paid her more than any actress in history to represent their brand exclusively. She's 81 in 2025. You're looking at the controversial beauty Nastia Kinsky, who began modeling at 13 and became Roman Polanski's muse at 15 in a relationship that scandalized Europe. Her serpent photo shoot with photographer Richard Avedon became the most reproduced image of the 80s, and she spoke 4 languages fluently while never taking a single acting lesson. In 2025, she's 65. That punk rock royalty is Debbie Harry of Blondie, whose bleached platinum hair required touching up every 3 days and cost more than most people's rent. She worked as a Playboy bunny and waitress at Max's Kansas City before music stardom, serving drinks to Andy Warhol and David Bowie, who later became her collaborators and close friends. She's 79 in 2025. The Chameleon Empress herself, that's Cher, whose Bob Mackie gowns were so elaborate they required their own transportation crew and insurance policies. She's the only artist to have #1 hits in 6 consecutive decades, and her 1970s variety show was canceled, partly because her Native American heritage jokes made network executives uncomfortable with her political boldness. In 2025, she's 79. That ethereal beauty is Julie Christie, whose windswept hair in Dr. Zhivago became so iconic that hair salons offered the Julie cut for decades. She turned down more leading roles than any actress of her generation, preferring to live on a Welsh farm raising sheep rather than chase Hollywood stardom. And Warren Beatty proposed to her 17 times before she finally said yes. She's 84 in 2025. You're looking at the unconventional goddess Barbra Streisand, whose prominent nose was considered so unmarketable that studio executives begged her to get rhinoplasty before Funny Girl. She refused and became the first woman to write, produce, direct, and star in a major Hollywood film, with Yentl proving that talent trumps conventional beauty standards. In 2025, she's 82. That smoldering intensity belongs to Charlotte Rampling, the British beauty whose explicit love scenes in The Night Porter were so controversial that several countries banned the film entirely. She spoke perfect French and German, making her the go-to actress for international productions, and famously said she'd rather be interesting than beautiful. She's 79 in 2025. Here's the sophisticated rebel Angie Dickinson, whose legs were so famous that Johnny Carson devoted an entire Tonight Show monologue to them, causing her insurance company to increase their coverage to $2 million. She was married to composer Burt Bacharach and inspired some of his greatest love songs, though their relationship was as tempestuous as his melodies were beautiful. In 2025, she's 94. Witness the tragic beauty Jessica Lange, whose Kong remake was initially ridiculed until critics realized her performance transcended the material entirely. She studied mime in Paris with Marcel Marceau and could express entire emotional arcs without speaking, making her one of the most physically expressive actresses ever captured on film. She's 75 in 2025. That dangerous allure is Susan George, the British bombshell, whose rape scene in Straw Dogs was so disturbing that she required therapy afterward and banned her own family from watching the film. She performed her own horseback riding stunts and was a championship-level equestrian before Hollywood discovered her modeling career. In 2025, she's 74. You're seeing the ethereal Liv Ullmann, Ingmar Bergman's muse, whose close-ups were so powerful that film schools still use them to teach emotional authenticity. She and Bergman had a passionate affair that produced a daughter in some of cinema's most intimate performances, though she never learned Swedish and performed entirely in English. She's 85 in 2025. That's the sophisticated beauty Jaclyn Smith, whose Jill Monroe was the most popular Charlie's Angel and the only original cast member to stay for the entire series run. Her hair products empire made her richer than her acting career ever did, and she personally tested every formula on her own locks for 2 years before releasing anything publicly. In 2025, she's 79. That dangerous elegance belongs to Pam Greer, the undisputed queen of blaxploitation who personally choreographed every fight scene and refused stunt doubles for her gun battles. She dated basketball legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and comedian Richard Pryor simultaneously without either knowing. And Quentin Tarantino waited 20 years to make Jackie Brown specifically for her because he called her cinema's first female action hero. She's 75 in 2025. Behold the mysterious Isabella Johnny, the French-Algerian actress whose beauty was so captivating that she became the youngest person ever nominated for 2 Academy Awards by age 26. She refused to do Hollywood films in English, turning down leads in every major production from Superman to Basic Instinct to preserve her European mystique. She's 69 in 2025. That's the rebellious spirit Tatum ONeal, who became the youngest person ever to win an Academy Award at age 10 for Paper Moon, beating out veterans in her category. Her relationship with her father Ryan was so troubled that they didn't speak for years, and her drug addiction struggles made her one of the first child stars to publicly discuss the dark side of early fame. In 2025, she's 61. You're witnessing the elegant Catherine Bach, whose Daisy Duke shorts became such a cultural phenomenon that the Smithsonian Museum requested a pair for their American History collection. She sewed her own costumes because the show's budget was so low, and her legs were insured for $1 million after the first season's success. She's 70 in 2025. That haunting presence is Shelley Duval, whose 3-hour crying scenes in The Shining were so emotionally draining that Stanley Kubrick had a psychiatrist on set daily. She discovered more acting talent than any other performer through her children's television shows, launching careers that are still thriving decades later. In 2025, she's 76. Here's the disco queen Donna Summer, whose 17-minute version of Love to Love You Baby was so sexually suggestive that radio stations could only play edited versions, yet it still reached #2 on the charts. She was classically trained at opera school and could hit notes that shattered wine glasses. Though she preferred to use that power for dance floor euphoria, she passed away in 2012 at the age 63. The final Golden Girl, that's Suzanne Summers, whose Three's Company contract dispute made her the first television actress to publicly fight for salary equality with male co-stars. She was blacklisted from Hollywood for 5 years after demanding equal pay, but returned stronger with a business empire spanning fitness, beauty, and health products worth over $100 million. She passed away in 2023. So how many of these 29 70s Golden Girls did you recognize? Drop your score in the comments. Bonus points if you can name the specific films or songs we pulled these classic shots from. These women didn't just define an era, they revolutionized what it meant to be a leading lady, breaking barriers and challenging every convention Hollywood threw at them. Their stories are filled with triumph, scandal, and pure star power that transcends generations. If you enjoyed this journey through the golden age of cinema and music, smash that like button, subscribe for more nostalgic content, and share this with fellow lovers of classic entertainment. Part 2 is coming soon with even more legendary beauties from this incredible decade. See you next time.